Well, good evening, everyone. Groundhog Day is tomorrow. Will it see or not see its shadow? That forecast in your First Alert Doppler radar is on the way.
And just ahead, over $1 million in grant money is being distributed to small businesses in Augusta impacted by the pandemic. And U.S. health officials try to meet the demand for the COVID-19 vaccine. A third vaccine awaiting FDA approval may be available soon.
And later, in honor of Black History Month, Fox 54 sits down with Leslie Price, the first African-American councilwoman in Aiken. Your news and weather on Fox 54 starts now.
Your local news 1 hour earlier. WFXG Fox 54 News Now.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us at 10. I'm Mark Blaine.
And I'm Courtney Hicks. A bill to split Columbia County from the Augusta Judicial Circuit is gaining momentum. Today, the Georgia Senate passed the bill. Now it will move on to the House. If it passes, it will go to the governor for his signature. Now, according to Columbia County, it could save up to $1 million in establishing a standalone circuit. However, the chairman of the committee to preserve the Augusta Judicial Circuit disagrees. Attorney Adam King says taxpayers need to know the economic impact of a split from the current judicial circuit.
This will not result in a financial savings to Columbia County. It'll likely cost Columbia County about $1.6 million. It'll likely cost Richmond County about $1.1 million. And it'll likely cost Burke County about $400,000. So it's not going to save anybody any money.
Coming up at 11, hear why King says now is not the time for Columbia to split from the established circuit.
And in a continued effort to help small businesses stay afloat during the pandemic, Augusta Richmond County commissioners are making more grant dollars available that will be distributed by the area's Housing and Community Development Department. Fox 54's Mary Klingler joins us live in downtown Augusta with a look at how businesses that are on the brink can get their hands on a portion of that grant money now available. Mary.
Mark, Commission is granting small businesses like the ones you see here behind me over $1 million, and the money is geared toward getting our economy back to what we know as normal.
I think this program specifically is really meant to be a stopgap measure.
Daniel Evans says this money is an attempt to help businesses facing economic hardship since March in hopes of getting them back on track.
Sustenance, right? Sustaining through the hard times to get back to what I'm very confident will be a more normal, as we used to know it, business economy.
Business owners will have to fill out an application for consideration, and if approved, the grant would be made available to support documented costs associated with payroll, utilities, and other operating expenses in 2 different tiers based on the total number of employees.
We've assisted about 75 businesses total, and certainly our goal is to see that in as expeditious a manner as possible, we get the rest of those additional funds out to the new types of businesses that are eligible to apply.
Evans feels this is a step toward getting Augusta back to thriving again.
I'm very hopeful that Augusta is going to be one of those communities that sees a strong bounce back and really truly takes a V-shaped recovery and is able to continue on the growth that we were experiencing prior to the onset of the pandemic.
In order to qualify, small business owners must operate their business in the city of Augusta and have fewer than 100 employees. Reporting live in downtown Augusta, I'm Mary Klingler, Fox 54 News Now.
Mary, thank you very much. Well, coming off a gray, wet weekend, the good news today, we stayed dry.
But it's cold. It's just cold. It is absolutely cold. Chief Meteorologist Jay Jeffries is here to explain it all away.
Well, I tried to give you about a 3 or 4 day, warning on this, and here's those cold temperatures there for you. All right, and Mark, you're right. Of course, we did play pretty much dry. Let's take a look at our conditions across the other metro area for the most part, with the continuation of basically watching all of our activity across the deep southeast region. We continue to watch just a little bit, and of course, that is going to be a little little sprinkles of the snow in that northwestern portion of our viewing area. For the most part, though, still pretty much quiet and dry. All the shower activity is off to the east of us. The sunshine is coming back our way. Then on top of that, it's going to be very breezy. Our wind advisory will be into the western portion of our viewing area all the way up until about 4 p.m. for tomorrow afternoon. Current temperatures now are 41 in Augusta, 37 degrees there in Thompson, 37 in Louisville, and 43 in Allendale. Albany now of 42, Charlotte of 38, Atlanta 36, in Miami a cool 60 degrees. So here's a look at our hourly forecast. At 11 p.m. of 39, 36 degrees at 1, 5 a.m. tomorrow morning of 35, and you can see there's the sun, 37 by 9 and 44 by 11. Your 7-day forecast coming up in a moment. Mark?
Jay, thank you very much. The number of new coronavirus cases is decreasing in almost every state, yet public health officials are worried the variant strains of COVID-19 could put an end to the progress. A new University of Washington model predicts the nation's death toll could top 620,000 by May 1st if these variants continue to spread at a fast pace. So far, over 470 cases of the 3 strains first detected in the UK, South Africa, and Brazil have made their way into the country. Here in Georgia, the CDC is reporting there are currently 18 cases of the UK strain in the state. At this point, they haven't reported any sign of the other 2 strains. And in South Carolina, the CDC is reporting 1 case of the UK strain and 2 cases of the South African strain in the state, with no sign yet of the Brazilian strain of the virus.
And there could be another COVID-19 vaccine approved soon. Mandy Gaither explains in tonight's Health Minute how Johnson & Johnson's vaccine is different from Pfizer and Moderna's and when we can expect to see it.
It may soon be a new weapon in the war on COVID-19. A third vaccine made by Johnson & Johnson could be authorized for use in the U.S. in the near future.
This is a single shot vaccine in which you start to see efficacy anywhere from 7 to 10 days following the first and only shot.
Health experts say getting people vaccinated as quickly and efficiently as possible is one of the best defenses against the virus. A single dose of this vaccine means more people could gain immunity more quickly, as none would have to be set aside for a second shot.
It is very, very good with regard to cold chain requirements, namely requiring only a refrigerator. It is inexpensive, and the company is capable of making doses in the numbers of billions.
Johnson & Johnson says their vaccine was 72% effective against moderate and severe disease in the U.S. The vaccines already on the market in the U.S. are about 95% effective overall against symptomatic COVID-19, with perhaps even higher efficacy against severe cases. But some experts urge Americans not to count Johnson & Johnson out.
If we had an abundance of mRNA vaccines, where everybody could easily get those vaccines now, this probably wouldn't be a discussion, but we don't.
The U.S. has ordered 100 million doses, and Johnson & Johnson says it can meet that commitment by June. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And across Georgia, public health departments and other providers are being forced to pause appointments for people looking to be vaccinated for COVID-19. According to Governor Brian Kemp's office, not enough doses are being shipped to the state, and that it's a matter of supply can't meet demand. The spokesman for the governor says Georgia's weekly allotment of the vaccine stands at around 146,000 doses, with no indication that the supply will increase anytime soon.
Augusta University Health is partnering with the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control and Aiken Technical College to increase COVID-19 vaccinations here in the CSRA. South Carolina residents who are a part of the Phase 1A group can go to Aiken Tech's Student Activity Center on the 2200 block of Jefferson Davis Highway this Wednesday to get vaccinated. And those who are eligible in Georgia can go to Warren Baptist Church on Washington Road tomorrow. Both locations require you to make an appointment. We have a link for you on our WFXG.com website.
Bobby Christine is no longer the acting U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Georgia. He resigned today. He took over early last month following his nomination by then President Donald Trump. Christine will continue in his role as the top prosecutor for the Southern District of Georgia. According to a spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office, First Assistant U.S. Attorney Kurt Erskine will now serve as the acting U.S. Attorney for the Northern District.
And an ex-Bamberg County councilman and ex-South Carolina state trooper were bailed out of jail after being arrested for sexual abuse charges in 2 counties. According to the Associated Press, a woman said Carrie Trent Kennard abused her when she was just 16. Kennard is also facing federal charges for lying with trying to buy a gun back in December. He's currently waiting for a federal hearing, and he could face up to life in prison if convicted of sex abuse in Bamberg County. His attorney says he's innocent.
Well, we're going to take a break there for you. Not much difference in our highs and lows for it today. We got up to about 47, but we started off at 45. That's 2 degrees different. The record high back in 1950 was 80. Boy, that would feel really nice now. Your 7-day forecast is coming up in a moment.
A high school principal in Charleston, South Carolina is working 2 jobs. In about 10 minutes, the inspiring story behind his decision to put in the long hours. Stay with us. We will be right back.
Your local news 1 hour earlier. WFXG Fox 54 News Now.
And welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us tonight on Fox 54 News at 10. I'm Courtney Hicks.
And I'm Mark Blaine. This being February 1st, Black History Month is underway. And tonight we feature a trailblazer in Aiken, District 2 Commissioner and Mayor Pro Tem Leslie Price.
Sydney joins us live in downtown Aiken to share the history and impact Price holds in the area. Good evening, Sydney.
Well, good evening, Mark and Courtney. I had the chance to travel across the city of Aiken, and I can tell you with Leslie Price, and I can tell you that the roots she's planted and the accolades she's received, it's no secret that she serves as an inspiration to many. Here's her story.
It was unusual to have a female run, but also an African-American female.
In 1987, Leslie Price became the first African-American woman to serve on the city council in Aiken, South Carolina.
Being the first has its challenges in terms of making a motion for a project you want.
But it's an accomplishment the community helped pave the way for.
I had a very competitive female attender running as a Republican, and I won that election in 1987. So it says a lot about the town, the character, because I had to have some crossover vote to win.
Price has served as a councilwoman in the city for 34 years and elected twice as mayor pro tem.
And there are a lot of things that have occurred here that I have witnessed. More houses, more affordable housing. One of the things that I am so pleased about is the area of which I grew up, that's in Tool Hill.
An area that has been polished over the years by the city. And just right around the corner is a senior and youth center that was named after Price in 2019.
I wish that my parents were living to witness this. They would be still in awe, as I am, that this blessing was cast upon not me but my family.
So to any young person striving to reach a dream, Price wants you to know that it's not just about being first.
Focus on the issues that you are trying to change. Whatever is going wrong, whatever is going right, support those issues and expand it if it's going in the right direction. Your new voice, your participation could add some different perspective to it.
Well, Mark and Courtney, apart from representing and being a part of the city council, Leslie Price serves on a number of boards representing the city of Aiken, including a workforce development program and an environmental program. Live in Aiken, I'm Sydney Moore, Fox 54 News Now.
Sydney, thank you very much. And in honor of Black History Month, the Lucy Craft Laney Museum is featuring an exhibit as a tribute to women of excellence, featuring those who have made history and are making history today. The exhibit is full of artwork, photographs, and historic documents that celebrate an array of individuals and their contributions to the country. Some of the work has even been produced by local artists. Fox 54 spoke with the museum historian. He says one of the best ways to celebrate Black History Month is by starting local.
Our history is all around us. Some of the streets that we go down, like R.A. Dent Boulevard or Laney Walker Boulevard or S.C. McIntyre Boulevard, or some of the schools that we attend, like T.W. Josie High School or A.R. Johnson Magnet School or C.T. Walker Magnet School. All of these streets and schools are named for prominent African Americans in Augusta.
Rogers says they're bringing back the exhibit they put together last year since no one really had the chance to see it due to the pandemic. He added COVID precautions are in place at the museum. Also, you can see some of the exhibit online as well.
And if you'd like to test your Black history knowledge, we have a fun quiz for you on our website, WFXG.com. There's a banner at the top of the page for you. Once you take it, let us know how you did on your Fox 54, on our Fox 54 Facebook page.
Okay, let's talk weather now. If I heard right, we're looking at sub-freezing temperatures overnight.
Sub-freezing? That's pretty cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jay Jeffries, you got some susplaining to do.
Susplaining to do.
No.
All right, we're going to get right to it here, everyone. At least we're going to be pretty much dry and quiet for the most part there for you. We still continue to have a lot of the low clouds across the vicinity there for it. But let me show you what's happening outside as we go, let's say right outside our studios here at WFXG. And of course, this is Washington Road. We continue to have pretty much dry conditions there for you. But the SRP building, and that's all the way into Highway 25 into North Augusta. Traffic still picking up just slightly. But we get on the Interstate 20 and of course the Hyatt Place, and those conditions, people are still out and about. The city lights are up, and of course it is pretty much cold out there. So the conditions overall are shaping up. Basically, we will continue to have the dry conditions. The sunshine is coming back, but it is going to be a breezy night and a very cold night. On top of that, windy conditions for tomorrow. That's the reason why the wind advisory is into effect in the western portion of our area until about 4 p.m. for tomorrow. Look at the temperatures. Saluda 36 now, 40 in Waynesboro, and Millen there of about 38. Throughout the southeast, we're starting to see those 30s, and they are going to stick around for a while. Hourly forecast coming up at 5 a.m. of 35, sunshine and 34 at 7 and 44 at 11. All right, Courtney, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jay. Governor McMaster joined Prisma Health today to celebrate their 100,000th vaccine in South Carolina. McMaster said the state's priority is to get vaccines to those who are most vulnerable as fast as possible. He said right now there are 300 pharmacies in the state that have the vaccines, and McMaster says it's time for them to step up their administration.
So we want the pharmacies and those out in the more rural areas to do the same things that our hospitals are doing now. And when we get everyone operating at maximum capacity, that will be good news for the people of South Carolina.
So far, South Carolina has received over 657,000 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine.
Starting tomorrow, the nationwide mask mandate will begin for all public transportation. The Department of Homeland Security gave TSA workers the authority to enforce the new rule at airports across the country. Of course, the mandate is also in effect for trains, buses, and taxis. Here locally, Augusta Transit says passengers who fail to wear a mask will be immediately told to get off the bus, and if needed, the Richmond County Sheriff's Office will be called to remove passengers if they fail to comply.
And Democrats in Congress are looking to move forward with President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief bill, even without support from Republicans.
But as Karen Kafer reports, a group of Senate Republicans has a pitch for Biden that could put a major campaign promise to the test.
President Joe Biden campaigned on a pledge to bring bipartisanship back to Washington. Both he and Vice President Kamala Harris leveraging their relationships on Capitol Hill to get things done together. But now, less than 2 weeks into his presidency, Biden may be facing a political dilemma.
President Joe Biden opening the door to a group of Republicans to discuss his COVID relief proposal, but not willing to cede too much.
He's happy to hear from them, but he's also feels strongly about the need to make sure the size of the package meets this moment.
10 GOP senators putting forth a $600 billion plan that is significantly smaller than Biden's $1.9 trillion bill. Among the areas the GOP group has targeted, scaling down Biden's proposed income threshold for direct payments.
You could have a family with 3 kids making almost $300,000 a year getting a check, and many of these people have had no impact from COVID. In fact, some are doing quite well, others are struggling. Let's focus on those who are struggling.
It's one point Biden appears open to negotiate, but in other areas, Democrats may be less willing to yield, like movement toward a $15 minimum wage, citing the urgency of the moment.
If you listen to economists across the political spectrum, they say that given the big hit to the economy we saw in the last quarter, it's important to go big here.
Senate Democrats could try to pass Biden's bill without any Republican support, using a budget and deficit-related mechanism called reconciliation that needs a simple majority rather than 60 votes. The White House says that's up to them.
He's leaving it up to them, and he believes that there is still room for bipartisan support for this package.
And some Republicans say that that reconciliation move would be at odds with what Biden had pledged. The White House answering that by saying that the president's priority is getting a bill to his desk quickly so that aid can get to Americans fast. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
And Donald Trump announced his legal team today, just over a week before his second impeachment trial. Sources say he wanted his legal team to focus on election fraud, but that turned out to be a deal breaker. The new lawyers, former District Attorney Bruce Castor and trial attorney David Schoen, both say this impeachment is unconstitutional.
I'm not shocked that nearly on the eve of the impeachment trial, he's once again losing representation. And I think that's pretty telling when attorneys who have taken their own oath and are admitted to the bar don't want to risk that.
Democrats and some Republicans say the president incited the January 6th Capitol riot. However, some Republicans are keeping quiet on how they'll vote. A conviction requires 67 votes, or in this case, 50 Democrats and at least 17 Republicans.
Well, we got more to come, and of course our afternoon high temperature was not quite that high. We only got up to 47, and we started off at 45. The record low was 17 back in 1936. We're coming back with your 7-day forecast in a moment.
There's a constant change in the industry, and you just got to try and keep up with it, and that's what these competitions bring.
It's only gotten bigger and bigger. I'm glad to see just such an interest in this, given how much we're moving towards technology.
A new look to the Capture the Flag competition when we return, how this year's event had an international flavor and is inspiring the next generation of cyber workers. Stay with us. We will be right back.